Hi everybody and welcome to Lace Wig Wednesday. So in this video I'm going to show you how I customize my lace wig from start to finish. I received this wig from my first wig and I will put all the information about this wig in the description box below. So I'm going to show you how I go from that to this from beginning to end. First step is bleaching the knots. So I'm going to take my Clairol BW2 powder and my Salon Care 40 volume cream developer that I got from Sally's, and I'm going to take 1 scoop of the powder and 2 scoops of the developer. So measuring is very important, especially if you're a beginner. It's almost always 1 part bleaching powder and 2 parts developer. So you want to take 1 scoop of the bleaching powder and 2 scoops of the cream developer. And then you just want to mix it till it's a good consistency. If it seems like it's really runny, you may want to add just a little bit more bleaching powder, but you never want to freehand these measurements. So after you have it mixed to the appropriate consistency, you want to start to apply it onto your closure or your frontal or your wig. I place my wig on a mannequin head and then I start to apply the bleach. You want to take your time with this process. You don't want to rush because if the bleach starts to seep through or you move too fast, it will get on the hair and then you'll have to end up doing a whole nother step of correcting your over bleached wig or closure. So I let the bleach process for about 20 minutes, checking on it frequently to make sure that I'm not over processing the closure. Then after that, I rinse it out and then I begin to shampoo, which I am showing you on camera right now. I use a neutralizing shampoo to stop the bleaching process, and I get it a little bit on the hair and all over the closure part that was bleached. And then after that, I just go ahead and rinse that off as well. After that's all rinsed out, I like to go ahead and tone the lace. I'm using Wella Color Charm Toner in the color T18, and I'm going to be using Developer as well to create the mixture. So 1 part of the toner and 2 parts cream developer. And I do this toning process to take all the orangeness and brassiness out of the lace. Typically, whenever I'm bleaching anything at all, I always find that it always turns out a little bit brassy, whether it be lace or hair. I'm also going to take these red gold corrector plus drops, and I'm going to drop about 15 drops in the mixture of the toner and the developer as well. And then I'm just going to mix it all up until it's a nice smooth and purple consistency. Some people prefer to tint the lace. I find that toning the lace works better for me and for my skin tone, and it takes the brassiness out without a doubt every single time. So after you get it mixed up all well, you want to apply this in the same fashion that you applied the bleach. You want to apply it all over the area that was bleached. You want to take your time with this as well and just apply evenly all over the lace. And then after I apply this on there, I let this sit on for about 30 to 45 minutes, checking back in frequently to see how the processing is going. And you can usually tell a huge difference once it starts to tone the lace down. So after letting that process and shampooing it out, this is the finishing results after toning. I do have a wig cap under this just so you can see how great it turned out. But of course, depending on what color wig cap you use depends on what color scalp or lace will actually shine through. I'm using a lighter color cap in this video. So the next step is to begin customizing the hairline. I'm going to pin down the sides of the wig, that way it stays in place and it's easier to customize the hairline and pluck with the tweezer that way. Ideally, you want to leave a little bit of the lace on, but I had already trimmed the lace before this video. But it is way easier if you leave the lace on when you're doing this process. This is the side that I have already tweezed, but I'm going to show you basically what I do for the middle of the hairline. As you can see, this part is untweezed, or uncustomized. So I begin by parting a section just to work with. I part just a little bit far back so I can have enough room to have a good customized hairline. Then, with no technique whatsoever, I just begin to tweeze away the hairs. And in the very beginning, I'm not really paying attention to where I'm tweezing. I'm just parting a little bit at a time, tweezing some, parting a little bit more, tweezing some more, basically because I'm just trying to get the look to be less dense. And once I get it to be less dense and it starts to look more natural, then I start to pay a little bit more attention to where I'm plucking, as you can see here. Um, that way I can start to customize and really see what areas I want to pluck more and what areas I'm finished plucking. There's really no technique at all. You just keep plucking until you have created the look that you are going for. Less is more, so you want to pluck just a little at a time because you can always go back and pluck some more, but you cannot replace the hair that you have already plucked out. So take your time. It is a very tedious process, but once your hair comes out looking bomb, it is totally worth it. So my next step is to create my baby hairs. I'm just taking some Paul Mitchell styling foam and rubbing that along the edges. You can use any styling foam and you don't have to use any styling foam at all if you don't want to. I just find that this helps me lay out the hairs better and it helps me determine how they are actually going to look when I apply the wig. So I'm just brushing the hairs out, as many hairs as I want. This part is basically just to your liking. You can use as many hairs or as little hairs as you please. I don't use a whole lot just because I have quite a bit of baby hair myself and it's often hard for me to conceal that. With my wigs, I'm taking this eyebrow shaper and I'm just going through brushing and cutting and trimming to the length that I would like for them to be. Like I said, less is more. Of course, if you create too many baby hairs, you can always end up plucking them back out, but just take your time. Even though it can be a little bit of tedious process, it is all worth it in the end. So now I'm just adding a little bit of oomph to the hair. I'm just recurling the hair because it was curled when I first received it and I really liked the fluffy look of the curls. I'm using this curling wand from my Bellamy Nicole Guerrero, I believe is how you pronounce her name, set. And I'll put all the information about this set below and what size wand I used. The hair is gorgeous. Like I said, this is my first wig. And I'll put all the information about it below. So this is the finishing look of the wig. I'm just showing it to you before I put it on. It looks gorgeous, and these are the curls. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out. All right. So this is the finishing result. I do not have the wig applied. I just have it on and then I've put the combs in place, but I did not use any glue or tape or anything. This is what the wig looks like with no wig cap at all. I have a little trouble with the wig cap, so I really have to play with it a lot when I'm placing the wig on, just because my forehead is really short, so when I pull it down too far, it just looks a mess. But I love the way it turned out. This is how the wig looked before, so it is a huge difference. The lace looks completely different. The hairline looks completely different. And now this is how it looks. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Of course, if you have any questions or I left anything out, please feel free to leave your comments and questions down below. Other than that, thanks so much for watching and be sure to tune into the next Lace Wig Wednesday.